everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am Trevin, joined as always by Caleb.
Hola!
And Zach, as always, is behind the camera. And we are
here. Sorry to cut you off. We're here to talk about Monday Night Raw and glorious people. It's the last time in America that we get a daytime Raw. It is so nice to get Raw out and over with and not have to wait. Not have it be the last thing of the night.
I'm gonna miss these crowds.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss some parts of the crowds. I'm going to miss getting these done the same day that Raw is done, so these can be uploaded Tuesday. Yeah. So the next Raw episode will be going back to the Wednesday release schedule, and then NXT, of course, is staying on Thursday.
Yeah.
SmackDown Sunday. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's just the housekeeping. The Raw was so good last, not the last big push, but last final push onto Mania. We're 3 weeks out.
Yup.
So that's exciting. Finally, the World Heavyweight feud is looking good. We'll get to that. But first, let's get to your WWE title feud in the first Battle of the Mics between Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Yeah, and Cena comes out to the classic boos and yay.
John Cena sucks.
Yeah. And he raises the mic to his mouth and
Doom, doom. Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Not even getting a word in, Cody comes in and starts talking.
Yeah, and Cody says, so I heard you're gonna cook me. That's what you do, right?
Let me give you some material. Yeah, and he looks at some signs in the crowd and he's like, oh, that's a good one. Cody has an arm tattoo on his neck.
I have a lisp. Stardust. I got booed in a company I started. And Cena says, I don't care about your lisp. He says, look, I'm not here to cook you. I'm not here to... He's like, I'm here to bury you. But I don't bury talent like they say I bury talent. I am talent. I bury mediocrity.
Yeah.
He also then goes on to say it's not where your tattoo is, it's what your tattoo is about. Noting that Cody is a self-entitled egotist because he has his wrestling gimmick proudly tattooed on his neck for everyone to see. And then Cody gets some retorts in.
Yeah.
And then pretty much the last big thing uttered in this promo was Cena saying, I make empires for billionaires. All you've ever done is steal money from their kids.
Yep.
In reference to Tony Khan.
Yeah. But Cena goes to walk out and Cody says, hey, Cena, while a lot of what we said is true, at least I've never caused the crowd to chant, you can't wrestle.
Yeah, and then Cena stares him down. He looks like he's going for it, and he just says, you know what? Tip of the cap again, turns around, and then he goes for it. Cody counters, crossroads, he laid out my goat.
Yeah, and the internet was talking a lot about how they are holding off them having a actual conversation, like word for word trading sentences conversation, because they're like Cena's gonna tear this man apart, and I watched it. I probably need to watch it back for a better reaction, because you watched it like 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I only watched it once, and I'm like, both these people were good on the mic. Like, there was no cooking like what the internet was hyping up, but like, yes, they both bashed each other, but like, I feel like the internet hyped it out of proportion for what it ended up being.
Yeah, no. So, in terms of cooking, what Cena's done, the best example is No Mercy. I think it's 2018. Roman Reigns versus John Cena.
Yes.
While Roman did win that match, they put him in the ring with Cena like a week beforehand. And it was just ugly. It was like the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair thing. I think I even alluded to this. It's like they gave him Like, we're going to put you in the sink or swim environment. You're going to have to go out here in front of a live crowd against one of the best people on the mic in history, and we're going to give them free reign. And Roman kind of did not do well at that time. Now he's way, way better on the mic.
Did you watch Friday?
But Cody is way more competent on the mic. Cody's a talker. That is what I like. It's just some of his promos are wishy-washy and they're the same thing every single time.
I feel like that is more a result of the feuds he gets put in than his actual mic skills. Because this promo proved he's got the mic skills. It's just they overextend some of his feuds, like Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens a little bit. I think dragging it out from Saturday night's main event to
Rumble
was a long slog.
Yeah.
But this is the last time we'll see Cena on our screens until WrestleMania.
Yeah. So another question that people have popped up, especially because of this European tour and these little promo offs. They did mention him in this promo, but where the F The Rock?
I don't think The Rock is as committed this year as he was last year.
No, yeah.
I literally just think it's that.
But it's like the sellout was caused by The Rock giving the signal, and he has not even done an Instagram vignette like he did a lot last year. It's like...
I don't want to say anything, but because I don't know if anything's concrete yet. Everything is up in the air, but it's CinemaCon going on. This is an offshoot.
Yeah.
But for Disney slates, there was a fan-made Spider-Man 4 poster, so already don't know if that's real or not. But literally, the poster right next to it was the M and O from Moana. Which means we probably are getting Moana 3, which means The Rock is probably tied up doing that.
Yeah.
They're also doing the live-action Moana. That's
Yep.
probably done, but he still needs to do other stuff for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a lot of people are asking, like, The Rock seemed to be a huge factor in this story, and it's been almost a month, and he is turning into a back thought.
Yeah, but, I feel comfortable with pushing Dwayne to the back burner. He doesn't, it's funny saying he doesn't need to be a part of this because he's the main reason why this got started.
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to be a part of the match at Mania.
No, yeah.
I think he was only there to supplement Cena turning heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only thing he's going to do in this whole thing.
Yeah.
He might show up after the Mania match.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If he is not there for the Raw after Mania, I will question this story a little bit.
I assume he's
At
going to
least.
be at Mania, though, because Stone Cold's going to be at Mania.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Minimal effort is he shows up Raw after Mania. He'll probably still be present at Mania, but I'm like, we need something out of this.
Yeah, we need something out of it. That is for sure. But moving on, so we see the New Day.
Yep. And I say, who the heck they fighting? Because I'm getting bored of this heel gimmick.
And you know what? I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. How about some hometown heroes? One returning, the man from Dudley, not Vil, but England. Tyler Bate, our big, strong boy, is back on our TV screens.
New Catch Republic is back together.
And what a breath of fresh air has been breathed into the tag team division.
Yes.
Oh my God. We get a new team on the scene.
Yeah, so two things before we highlight this match. When in their entrance, I commented, does this impromptu turn Pete Dunne face?
I think they're going to do the odd couple shtick that they were doing beforehand.
Okay.
Where Pete is more serious. It's kind of a more streamlined version of DIY. Where Tommaso is the serious one and Johnny's the one that's letting loose, having fun.
Yeah.
And that's Tyler with this one. And then you have Pete filling in Tommaso's role.
Yeah. And okay, we'll talk about the second one after we get to the result of this match.
Yeah, but also he's coming. Tyler Bate came back with the old look, with the short hair, and I think it looks so much better than the long. Sorry, Tyler.
Still got that beautiful mustache.
Still got that beautiful mustache. But getting into this match, we see the New Day apply some more heel tactics.
Yep.
Some new heel tactics.
Yeah, new catch though. Just trading for it. It's so cool seeing these guys back on our screen together.
Yeah, so we saw Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne do their synchronized dive where Pete Dunne runs out to the apron, does a running knee dive, and then Tyler Bate goes to the middle rope, suicide dive.
Yeah.
And then we move the action back in, and Tyler does his big swing, his big little spin move, where he did, I want to say, like 20 rotations.
Yes. Around the opener of this match too, something that made me go, "What the heck?" was Tyler Bate had one of the New Day members, I forget which, I think it was Xavier, in like he had his legs positioned for a Hurricanrana, but like he like crab walked over to the ropes, climbed them, tagged Pete Dunne in, does the Hurricanrana for Pete to basically just pick up the scraps.
Yeah, dude, Tyler Bate is so good. I'm so happy he's back. He is coming back off of a torn pec that he suffered in last September, July. Last July.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute for him, but I'm so glad he's back.
The ring rust was not showing.
Oh no, it was not. In other injury news, just to level up. Asuka's coming back in May, it's reported. She'll be ready around May. Tonga Loa will be back around June or July. And then Ilya Dragunov is eyeing a Raw return for September. But now back to this match. The New Day get the upper hand.
Yes, using some heel tactics, as you know, the New Catch Republic's tag finisher required some setup. The New Day decided, nah, we're going to cause some distractions, do a little underhanded eye raking every once in a while. They pulled Tyler Bate from his position off the apron.
Yep, they pull Tyler Bate from off the apron. Tyler Bate face first into the apron, takes him out for the rest of the match.
Yep, and
they hit their new tag finisher. I don't want to say it's New Day, New Way, but I think that's what it is.
It wasn't the SOS.
No, Daybreak.
Daybreak. There we go.
I think it was called Daybreak, and it's where Woods positions the person on his shoulder, face down, and Kofi does a double stomp to their back, face into the mat. 1, 2, 3. New Day picking up a statement win. Of course, sorry. Same thing as Pretty Deadly. You're not winning in your hometown.
Yeah, but this brings up to the second thing I wanted to bring up earlier, but I feel like we should get to the result of this match. I mentioned it in the entrances. I'm getting sick of this gimmick already. It has been variations of boos to silence for this entire run.
I think it's a combination of they could have continued the momentum off of Big E turning heel. They could have, instead of, just being the two-man shtick, they could have gotten another big guy in there.
Yeah. They could have done what was causing the arguments in the first place and gone for single gold. But no, they're like, you know what? We're heels now. Let's go back to the tag division.
Yeah, I think turning them heel was such a left turn, like a harsh left.
Yeah.
It was like,
because we were expecting a breakup.
I was expecting Xavier is turning on Kofi on the New Day anniversary.
Yes.
And then they both turned on E, and I was like, what the hell?
Yes. It was a cool thing at the moment, but seeing the results of it, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, when they showed up when their entrance started, I was like, I debated calling this a bathroom break match just because the New Day entered first. And then it was announced New Catch Republic was their opponents, and I'm like, I was wrong.
Yeah. But after the match, they go on to talk to Kathy. No, not Kathy. No, it was Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kathy. And she says, hey, so, you said that you deserve a title match. You just went out and you proved that you do. Do you feel like you've earned it now? And Xavier says, are you slow? Of course we earned a tag team.
Yep.
Of course we earned a title shot.
And then we hear the horns. And your world tag champions, the War Raiders, come out and basically accept the New Day's challenge. We don't know when it's happening, but
I guarantee within the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
They're
And
going to put these titles on Mania.
New Day getting cooked.
Actually, I can see the New Day winning. I could see them winning. They mentioned that they haven't held tag team title gold in since 2021.
Yeah, but I'm like,
I could be very wrong.
yeah, I'm conflicted on it because it's like this gimmick isn't working, and I don't feel like rewarding them with a title reign for it. But it's like it could possibly elevate it, but it's like I'm conflicted on it because like, do the New Day as like employees deserve another tag title reign? Absolutely. Like, people will agree they're one of the best tag teams in the world. Does their gimmick work deserve it right now? No.
It's just weird because I think you'll find it hard to believe when they started, they were supposed to be face, but they just got booed, so they became heels. And that was a big part of their run. They were heels, and then they got over organically. Then they became mega faces. And now we're just kind of in a territory where they were just coasting on that. Now they decided, let's change it up. And I don't think fans were ready for a heel New Day. I think they would have preferred all 3 members for a heel New Day.
I feel like we would have been fine with the breakup they were teasing.
Yeah, I would have been happier with the breakup. But we shall move on to the next match. And finally, this World Heavyweight title picture is looking like WrestleMania worthy.
Yep. We have your World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, squabbling up with none other than Big Jim.
Jimmy Uso.
Yep. And they squabbled.
They squabbled. Gunther got a lot of the offense in the match.
Yes. Jimmy was proving that, like, my brother's moveset can do work on you, and pulled some stuff out of his own personal bag, too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another thing I will mention ever since this beef started. Gunther, you're talking about being a dominant champ, yet all these for fun to scare Jay matches, you run out of breath. Like, you looking scared.
Well, so the reason why I can point to him having to go to the sleeper hold, because he got overwhelmed, it was, he went for the pin.
Yep.
And then he canceled it. He just said, no, I want to do more damage. And he's just getting cocky at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, he's going to slip because he's getting cocky. He's getting...
Yes.
It is going to be the Get Humbled arc. It's going to come from Jay.
Yes. Yes. Spoiler alert, Gunther won this match.
Oh, not even spoiler. Going into this match, I knew Gunther was winning. I knew that he was not going to let Jimmy get away with what Jimmy did last week by slapping him.
Yeah.
And let's just explain what he did to Jimmy. So...
Sleeper hold for the win, goes to leave the ring, and he's like, no, I want someone to come out.
Yeah, so he just puts the sleeper back on him.
Yep,
Here comes Jay.
Yep, and he's like, perfect. Jay does get Gunther down, but Gunther just counters,
And
beats
then runs.
the snot. Yeah, runs. We cut to commercial. When we come back, Jay is helping Jimmy leave.
And here comes Gunther like a smart heel. You thought he cleared the scene, but he didn't. He spun the block. He said, "Ha!"
Yup. And and then after a bit of pummeling, he zip ties Jay to the ring to watch him beat the snot out of Jimmy.
This basically ends with Gunther. Well, not ends, but the beginning of the end is Gunther hits Jimmy with the title. Jimmy runs the blade, and that man is bleeding. And Gunther is basically having a bloodbath.
Yep.
He is wiping the blood all over himself.
Yep. He went to lick
beat
it.
down.
He went to lick his finger and then spat it out.
And it's so funny. My favorite part, you can hear Jay when it cuts back to Jimmy when he's getting attacked. You hear Jay say "fuck," and then Gunther gets Jimmy in the sleeper hold right next to Jay, and he says, "Come on, I'm close to you. Stop me, you fucking pussy!" And I'm like, "What? He just said that on TV?"
Yeah. And yeah, so this ends with Gunther getting pulled off and getting escorted out.
Hey, pause.
Huh? Yeah,
Sorry.
but the promo, the post promo that Michael Cole caught on commentary, calling Gunther a hypocrite, being like he talks about this ring being. Yeah, he talks about this ring being sacred, that you should respect it, and then he does stupid stuff like this. I'm like, Michael Cole actually got a point. I'm not sure Gunther knows what his own gimmick is anymore.
Yeah, that is true. I think this leads to Jay fucking up Ludwig. This leads to Crash Out Jimmy. This leads to right hand man Jimmy coming out and laying that fucking beat down on Ludwig, because Ludwig says he wants a match at Mania. And what's the match at Mania for him? I think in this case, Jimmy v. Ludwig. Don't know why, but I think that's it. But moving on, we get to the slogs part of the card.
Yeah.
So the first match was Judgment Day v. Braun and Penta.
Yes. And
This match was good because Braun and Penta already have tag team moves.
yeah, it's like everyone was walking into this match being like, both sides have a will they, won't they story going on. None of that showed this match. It looks like they have been tag team since day one. Like, Judgment Day kind of makes sense. Braun and Penta, I'm like, what the F?
Yeah.
Guess they're just on the same page of this match.
The big story of this match is Braun accidentally spears Penta, which leads to the victory. So Penta gets pinned by Finn.
Yes.
And I was confused, but I can see why now, going into what happens after the match. The Judgment Day are in their clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And they are discussing what just happened, and Finn says, "I won. I did it. I won. I got momentum. I'm asking for an IC title match. I'm going to go talk to Pierce." And he leaves, and Liv says, "No."
Dom, you want to talk about that?
And he's like, "Well, no, he didn't mean it like that." And she's like, "No, he meant it like that. And I'm going to go talk to Pierce after he's done talking to Pierce.
And get you a title shot.
Yeah. That breakup's coming soon.
Yup.
It's coming soon.
Finn's getting kicked out.
But yeah, now moving on to surprisingly one of the low parts of the night for me.
Yep.
Just because not because of who was involved, funnily enough. One of them being AJ Styles. I love AJ Styles.
Yeah.
The other person was Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He kind of just did the same promo of saying, "You people are broke. You have no opinions."
Yeah.
But is now Mania official.
Yep.
So it's either going to be night 1 or night 2. At the end, Logan Paul does hit the pulverizer, and it's probably the best that finisher's ever looked. I
Yeah.
think because AJ Styles took it.
Yeah.
But Now we get into your main event of the evening.
Refed by your special guest referee, Bianca Belair, we have
Your Women's World Championship match.
the challenger
Rhea Ripley
versus
your Women's World Champion Io Sky.
this match cooked.
This match cooked. So a big part of the match was these two women obviously have a lot of animosity right now, so they were getting at it.
All three of them have animosity.
Yeah, but here's why I say two. Because Bianca, being a smart ref, says, hey, look, I'm going to let you go to 4, but then I'm going to break it up because I don't want this to end. I'm on the decisive winner.
Yes.
So she pulls Rhea with a little force, and then she pulls Io with a little force, then she pulls Rhea again with a little more force, does the same with Io, and then we get basically unbroken match
Yes.
of Io and Rhea. They're going back at it, counter for counter. They know each other very well. This is their 5th match. Towards the end, Io goes for the over the moonsault.
Yep.
Rhea counters and goes for what looks like a Samoan drop, but then gets countered by Io Sky. And then a little bit of a more kerfuffle happens. We get a ref bump because Io gets pushed into Bianca. Bianca catches her. And then Rhea's going for a big boot, and I think Io pulls Bianca in the way of ducks.
So Io was bumped into Bianca from a previous move, and then Io just ducks the boot, and the boot hits Bianca.
Yep, and then this comes after Rhea trying to hit the Riptide. She couldn't hit it, and now with the ref down, she hits it, and that pin goes to 12.
Yep, and then she hears the crowd counting that high, and she's like,
what? And then Bianca's on the ground. She says, look, you got to give me a second. I just got kicked. I love how when wrestlers become referees, they do the referee thing of one move is going to knock me out.
yeah.
So Bianca pretty much gets obliterated. She walks back in. 1, 2, kick out. And so we're like, okay, this match is still going on.
Yep.
And then another ref bump, this time by Io.
Yep, with her missile drop kick, Rhea evaded it, hitting Bianca instead.
Also, before this just happened, Rhea, in the midst of her anger, accidentally slaps Bianca and throws jewelry at her. And I'm like, oh, that's it for Rhea. That's a disqualification. And then Io kicks Bianca before it can even happen, and double disqualification.
Yep, which is gonna cause a triple threat.
Yep. At the end, Rhea Ripley stood tall, held the title, and I said, Bianca's walking out of Mania as champion.
I'm having Io retaining.
But who knows? That's what predictions are for, and that was this episode.
Yeah, another highlight spot is Rhea Ripley did play homage to her fellow Terror twin.
It hit a picture perfect Razor's Edge, and Io sold it like a champ.
Yep.
Just folding in on herself.
Yeah, she folded in only to get met with a kick to the head.
Yeah, and Rhea hits 2 riptides on Bianca at the end, and only 1 on Io. Holds the title. Yeah. But that's it for this episode of Raw. Pretty good episode.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going to happen next week in terms of what Cody's going to do, what Gunther's going to do, and what the New Day are going to do.
Yeah. Judgment Day movie. Judgment Day is kicking.
Yeah, El Grande Americano is fighting Chad Gable's hometown.
Yeah.
Because Chad Gable is medically disqualified.
Yep, and he's like, no, I can get medically cleared for next week. And
Pierce is just like, nope. It's official.
Yep. But doctor's orders.
So what do you think of this episode?
You mentioned the middle was a bit of a slog, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
I just think the Judgment Day is becoming... It's just getting old. It's just time to get rid of the group.
Yeah. The Styles Logan promo, the crowd was loud for that, and I
Yes.
feel like it definitely distracted from some of the momentum they were building up against each other.
Yeah, but that's it. We will see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but actually tomorrow from when we're recording.
Yeah.
You'll see this. We will then talk about NXT.
Woo!
And that's going to be a very, very good episode because NXT cooks always. But
Yeah.
that has been it from us here at Disqualified. I always get that wrong.
Blah, blah, blah.
Caleb, that's Trevin.
Oh.
That's Zach behind that camera if he's not asleep. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. Don't die.
Don't fall.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you for your time. Peace.
Bye!